The post office scandal is a corporate 9/11, and the second tower hasn't even fallen yet. We're still coming to terms with the extraordinary scale of this crime. We may never fully process it or unearth the unspoken private grief and pain of so many involved. Whilst the heroic Alan Bates, who fought back against the system and who'll never have to buy a pint again, has come out a hero, with over 700 people prosecuted, most of the stories will go unreported and fall by the wayside. The depression, the anxiety, the physical health symptoms, the insomnia brought about by 24/7 worry, the public shame, the humiliation, destroyed reputations, lost friendships, broken families, the financial injury, credit card bills, bank loans, life savings eviscerated, bankruptcy. Well done to the Prime Minister for announcing that he'll rapidly exonerate all of those accused. But whilst it's only an upfront payment, £75,000 is still an embarrassingly feeble figure, given that the Post Office took away a chunk of these people's lives. It took away their health, took away their financial security, took away their dignity, took away their reputation, and took away a business to which they were committed and which they loved. If this was happening in America, every single victim would now be a multi-millionaire. Whatever they get here just won't be enough. And of course, no amount of money will repair the damage, particularly for those who took their own lives or have died since this happened. Here's the amazing Nikki Arch, who was wrongly accused by the Post Office and who bravely told me her story on Wednesday. Take a listen.
20s when it happened. I'm now in my 50s, and the fight carries on. You know, it just doesn't go away. We sold our house at a ridiculously cheap price so we could get the hell out of that hamlet, because everybody was talking about it, to the point I went to the supermarket and got spat at, and it was all in my hair from 3 ladies outside.
Nikki had to get medically retired at the age of 49. There are so many adjectives you could use to describe this horrific scandal, which only came to the attention of the political class after an ITV drama. But there is one adjective that I think is highly appropriate: dark. The Horizon IT inquiry heard this week that Post Office investigators, the kind of heavies that you'd expect to see in a Martin Scorsese film, behaved like mafia gangsters. And as each day passes, it becomes clear we haven't heard the half of it. The Telegraph today report the story of Robin Garbutt, who has spent the last 12 years in jail after being convicted in 2011 of the murder of his wife Diana at their home above the post office they ran together in Melsonby in North Yorkshire. Now, Robin protests his innocence and says that the Post Office produced evidence against him using the Horizon IT system to show that he was stealing money to fund an extravagant lifestyle. Without the Post Office Horizon evidence, then a huge part of the motive for the murder and the manner in which it allegedly happened disappears as well. Now, this guy might be guilty, but it's also just possible that there's a man in prison wrongly convicted of murder because of the lies of the Post Office. At the very least, give the man a full retrial and put that pathetic Horizon software evidence in the shredder. This story has achieved something rare. It's made me ashamed to be British. We now live in a computer says no society where ordinary people have absolutely no say. A friend of mine received a text message from their bank a week ago saying, "We have reduced your overdraft to 0. Now, this friend has been running their account perfectly for 20 years. No negotiation, no one to speak to reconsider, decision made. Lovely timing, don't you think, January, just when you've got Christmas to pay for and a tax bill to settle by the end of the month. Our increasingly technology-dominated society means that you need your smartphone, an app and a degree in computer science just to park your bloody car. The phone company won't give you a paper bill anymore, fewer places take cash, and whether it's a problem with your broadband or a dress that you've bought that doesn't fit, there's never anyone to speak to. The powers that be in this country have a crushing contempt for the little guy, for ordinary folk, for the great British public. We've even seen it with our democracy. Vote for Brexit, then the establishment try to reverse it. Start a TV network like this one, GBNews, aimed at representing you, the people, and they try to cancel it. They still are. COVID tyranny saw people locked up, masked and jabbed against their will, allowed no personal agency to face the disease as they saw fit. I think a post office-style reckoning is coming down the line for government scientists in SAGE and the actions of civil servants and government ministers. As with complaints about the Horizon software, voices of dissent during COVID and those of us who said lockdowns and masking were insane were silenced, vilified and crushed. And whilst the vaccine was hopefully safe for most, government experts are clear it saved countless lives. What about attacks on the people injured by the jab, especially those who statistically didn't need it? That's another scandal coming. Watch this space. And post-pandemic, it's clear that our lives are now run by a corporate and bureaucratic elite, egged on by a compliant and complicit media, with the voices of ordinary folk unheard. This is a scandal of untold proportions and demonstrates that people power is dead. Like Post Office hero Alan Bates, perhaps it's time we fight back.